Look at it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Life with Janae. So a few of you guys wanted a Q&A and y'all sent the questions, so we about to get into it. I had a lot of questions that was kind of similar, so I might bunch those together. We had some topics that we wanted to discuss, and yeah, we about to just get into it, okay? I'm just gonna jump right into it because I know that this was a long awaited video and y'all wasn't playing with these questions, okay? Most of them y'all wanted to just get to know me, ask questions about the kids, marriage, blah blah blah, and we're gonna get started with me because this is Life with Janae, my channel. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in with the question that I wanted to start with was, I know you from Chicago, but how did you end up in Atlanta? Okay, so when I was 16, first of all, I was born and raised in Chicago. When I was 16, my mom decided to pick up and move us to another state, and the state ended up being Georgia. We never specifically lived in Atlanta, but I know everybody uses Atlanta as the main city, you know, like just like Chicago is the main city, but we lived in Chicago and we lived in the projects, okay? For a little while until my mama moved us to like a different apartment, a different house, whatever, like on the south, I mean, on the, what is that called? Suburbs, in the suburbs, oh my God. Okay, so moved to Georgia when I was 16 and I've been here ever since. I went to high school, like I went to 3 different high schools. I was always transferring schools and I could not stand that, okay? One thing about me, I don't do well with a whole, but well, I didn't used to. Now I'm used to change, okay? And I wholeheartedly accept change. But when I was a kid, baby, change brought me anxiety. It brought me anxiety. So when we moved to Georgia, it was just a huge adjustment, and yeah. But I came to Georgia because my mom brought me to Georgia, no other reason, okay? A lot of y'all wanted to know how me and my husband met. So when I graduated high school, I went to Fort Valley. First of all, I went to Fort Valley State University. I stayed there for 1 semester and I was forced to come home. My mom was like, yeah, you gotta come home, because all my childhood friends were passing away, but that was happening in Chicago. And I don't understand why I had to come home. But my mom was like, I'm not doing the financial aid, you gotta come home. So I ended up coming home and I went to this school called Chattahoochee Technical College. When I went to Chattahoochee, I had me and my husband. So first of all, I wasn't even eyeballing him. I was eyeballing this other nigga. And just so happened, it was just one of them days where school was crowded. Like, it's a community college, but baby, that community college was popping at that time, okay? So I was coming from class. First of all, I'm not a social person. Like, I will talk to you if I know you, but I was never the person that just straight up talk to people. Like, I have to know you a little bit. So it was really packed in the I forgot what we called that, but it was basically like a social area, and it was so crowded, y'all. I couldn't find a seat nowhere, and lo and behold, my man was sitting at the table by himself. So I'm like, I kind of know you because he hung with the other dudes that played football or whatever, but he was always quiet, and I don't know, but he was sitting at the table by himself. And I was like, somebody sit right here. Like, can I sit with you? Cause I'd rather sit. I don't know nobody else up in here. It's too many people. So yeah. So he was like, yeah, you can sit right there. So we get to sit, and then out of nowhere we just started talking, y'all. I was waiting for my bus, because at that time I was taking buses, y'all. I had to take 2 buses to get home, 2 buses to get school. It was just crazy, okay? And you have to really watch the bus schedule, because the buses in Georgia is just so different than the buses in Chicago. Like, in Chicago, you don't gotta wait for no damn, but the buses is coming back to back. Here, you gotta look at the time schedule. You gotta time your schedule. Like, baby, I was so stressed out trying to keep up with my school schedule, making sure it lined up with my bus schedule, and also getting me to work, because y'all, I used to work for a daycare. too. So that's besides the point. Anyways, I didn't have to work this day. I was just waiting on the bus so I can go home. So I sat there and I'm talking to my husband. My husband, I already knew he was my husband. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking to him, and he was like, we just started talking. Like, we literally was just talking. We was asking each other, like, what you, like, no, I think it started with, I never met, like, what's your real name? I think I asked him, like, what's his real name? And he told me his real name, and I was like, you lying. Like, because my husband's name is Teeeewan. And I'm like, who would name their son, like, who would spell that name like that? Like, why would you spell your son name like that? Like, that's just like T-shirt, like, you know. So we cracking jokes or whatever like that. And then out of nowhere, we started talking about movies, we started talking about music, we started talking about everything. And before I knew it, y'all, I had missed 2 buses. So I'm like, damn, I must like him, because baby, I am running my mouth. So yeah, we just running our mouth. I missed 2 buses, and then I was like, oh my God, I didn't miss 2 buses. He had walked me to the bus stop, and we was still talking at the bus stop, y'all. So when my bus came, like right before it came, we had gave each other a hug, and baby, I wanted to kiss him. Like, I was like, not you trying to kiss this man, you just met him, like, girl. So we exchanged numbers, and I was just like, well, okay. He felt, you could tell, like, the energy was matched. Like, we had the same energy. It wasn't like I was overdoing it or he was overdoing it. It's just like we clicked at the very beginning. So after a while, we end up linking again. And when we linked, it was linked. Like, yes, I let that man get it that easily. Like, it was different, okay? And I was just like, at this point, you're my man. But we really wasn't like together. Like, you know how you just be with somebody and you just with them, like you just enjoying the vibes, enjoying the time. And we didn't really have no title or whatever. But then next thing you know, here comes Josiah. And then we had to really sit down and figure out what it is that we want and how we wanted to move forward. So there's that. It may not make sense to most, but shit, we was in college. That's the life that we was living. Yeah, that's just our love story. That's how we met, and we clicked. Like, we literally clicked on the first date. Like, it wasn't no date, it wasn't nothing, it was just us. And we bonded off the strength of conversation, y'all. And baby, that connection was so strong that I let him slap my panties to the side on the first fucking date. Ghetto, okay? But let's see what else y'all asked me. So y'all know I don't got no camera, so I basically got a Zyphone freezing. I'm on Zyphone with my questions. Let's see. What are some tips in your opinion to a successful, long-lasting marriage? Also, what are some tips on maintaining a household with minimum to no negativity? So my opinion on maintaining a successful marriage is, 1, keep everybody out your fucking business. Like, I had to learn that the hard way. I used to talk to everybody like, girl, because I'm an open book. Like, I literally, if I'm okay, like if I'm comfortable, or if I feel like first of all, if I meet somebody on the street and they ask me like a question, I'm gonna tell you. I'm just not the person that's just gonna initiate the conversation. So yeah, earlier I said I don't really talk to people like that, but it's just because if you talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you type of person. So I wasn't like, yeah, I was an open book basically. Like, I just always like open up, and I talk so much. Like, I would tell everything. My husband be like, you gotta stop running your mouth. Like, you gotta stop telling everybody everything. And it wasn't because he wanted to keep it a secret. It was more so like, it's nobody else's business but me, you, and God. So my suggestion is really to just keep stuff between y'all, like you, him, and God. Make it a priority to put God at the forefront of the marriage and trust him. When you feel some type of way, vent to God and vent to the person you got a problem with. Don't go vent to somebody else, because what that does is it just creates people feel feel like they have a right to comment or say things about something when you let them in and give them the opportunity to do so when it's a bad, like when y'all in a bad space. You get what I'm saying? One, I don't feel like no relationship, no marriage, no nothing, like it don't matter what type of relationship it is, whether it's you or a person that you're married with, you, a person that you're dating, your child, your mom, your dad, whoever it is, no relationship is perfect. Like, you literally have to put in work, and it don't happen overnight. Like, it's not easy, and you just have to put in the work. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, if you want a successful marriage, you have to pour into it. If you want it to be, you know, balanced out, you have to bring balance too. Like, you can't just expect your spouse to do XYZ and you're not meeting them halfway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned that communication is key. Don't let nobody in your fucking business, and when you got a problem, like, just communicate it. So, like, those are my top two things. And to keep negativity out your house, you don't allow negative people in your house. Like, a lot of people don't believe that spirits interfere with, like I don't like everybody in my house. This is my sacred space. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, keep that shit out. If you feel like somebody negative or they're gonna bring negativity into your household, don't allow them in. Like, my kids already know, like, they may fuss, they may fight, but we're not doing that negativity. Like, and my husband, me and him don't do it. Like, I don't know if I even answered the question the right way, but I mean, you said in my opinion. So when you maintain in a household, you have to make sure that the kids respect both you and their father. Like, you can't go to mama and be like, mama, can I get this, when daddy just said, no, you can't get it. Like, you have to make sure that y'all two are locked in, and it's y'all two against the problem, not y'all two against each other and y'all got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else asked, do we plan on having more kids? No. I told y'all this, and I'm gonna tell you every time, the answer is no. So, do you want any more kids? No. And husbands don't want any more kids either. Somebody else asked, oh, has your relationship with your husband always been good? No. If anybody tell you their relationship have always been good, they lying. Because everybody go through something. And I'm not saying you gotta go and get dragged through the mud, but in order to get to a healthy point in a relationship, you gotta do the work and you gotta go through the shit. Like, some people can say, I guess some people can say, but I highly doubt you got a perfect anything. Like, we gonna have some hurdles that we gotta get over, okay? Okay, yeah. So I say all that to say, I don't think no relationship is perfect, and if they're telling you that, they lying, okay? I got a couple of questions about how to keep the spark alive in your marriage, how to make time for marriage, and one specifically was like, we're too tired when it's time for alone time, and how do I maintain keeping that spark alive and being able to do that alone time. My suggestion is to make time. Like, there's no better time than the present, okay? When you see an opportunity, you do what you gotta do and you make it happen, because at the end of the day, when your kids are grown and out the house, it's just gonna be you and your husband. Like, you have to pour into that relationship the same way you pour into every other relationship in your life. You gotta fill that marriage cup, otherwise it leaves room for error. I didn't always have the energy to have that alone time with my husband either, but at some point you just gotta make the time. Like, every time you feel like, oh, like, sometimes it don't even take a whole lot. Like, just do something, like, get it done, make it quick, you know? Sometimes you just gotta get it in where you could get it in. And yeah, the spark, I feel like you have to continue to date each other. You have to date each other. Everybody changes, everybody grows, and you have to get to know your spouse every season, every level of their life, they're gonna continue to grow and be a different person. Like, nobody's gonna be the same person that you met 10 years ago. So you literally have to get to know your spouse, and you have to continue to want to learn and just, you know, grow with them. When you are genuinely care for somebody, like, you're not going to always be in that in love lovey-dovey phase. You have to work to keep that, like, you have to work to keep that spark alive. And sometimes it's not always peaches and cream, but in the times of those struggles and, you know, losing that spark, remember why you had the spark to begin with. Go back to those roots and continue to water them, because that's the only way to keep that spark alive. Like, sometimes, yeah, you just have to learn your person. You just have to genuinely know that you won't stop trying when things get hard or difficult, you know? As far as the spark though, like, I'm gonna do whatever. Like, I'm gonna throw some lingerie. Like, if I feel like I've been wearing my little gown, even though my husband loves me in my gown, baby, he do not give a fuck what I got on. Like, my knees could be ashy and he still want to freak. Like, that's just him, you know. But I still make it a point to try to put myself together sometimes, look presentable, and, you know, keep, you know, spark it up and spice it up on my end. Like, I might throw some lingerie on every now and then. And, you know, it's not always like that though. Like, you just make do with what you have, and you just work together to just keep it alive. Like, it takes both of y'all. It takes effort on both ends. But when you too tired, baby, just take a little time. Like, you know, what's a couple more minutes? You know, just go ahead and get it. Like, sometimes it could just be a quickie, and that's it. That's all you need. Like, and then, you know, you just have to make time. Like, if you know that by the end of the day, or by the time you get some alone time, you're gonna be tired, just go somewhere. Like, make it the morning time. Like, wake up in the morning and do it, like, while the kids still sleep. Like, find a window of opportunity and take it, because if you don't, you're gonna always be, I'm too tired, I'm too tired. I mean, shit, we too tired to do everything else, but we still do it. So why we can't just, you know, get that energy up and do it again for your man, you know? Like, I don't know. But that's just my personal opinion, because yeah, we gonna have some alone time. Will me and Hub start doing content creation together? The answer is no. As you can see by the title, this is called Life with Janae, and it's Life with Janae for a reason. A lot of people ask, how did I start content creation as well? So I'm just gonna answer them two together. No, we're not doing couple content, because this is my page, my channel, and I started it to find myself. About almost 3 years ago, I just decided to find myself, completely heal myself, completely pour into myself, and figure out who I am, you know. And it's not, I haven't completely figured it out, but when I started, I was damaged, baby. I was damaged goods. And it's because I carried childhood trauma, I carried adult trauma, and I carried so much trauma that I couldn't function. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had anxiety, I was dealing with depression, then you got postpartum depression. Like, baby, life was beating me down. And I got to this house. When we closed on this house, I was just like, I need to figure out me. Like, I need to find me. I need to figure out what it is that I enjoy. Like, I need to stop giving so much of myself to so many people and not having nothing left for myself. So I am a recovering people pleaser. Like, I used to feel like I gotta tell everybody yes, I couldn't say no, and I just had to do everything in my power to make everybody I love and everything connected to them happy. And I wasn't happy. So when I got to this place, I was like, I gotta fix myself. I gotta get therapy. I gotta get out here and figure out why the fuck I am the way I am. Like, why do I have so much anxiety? Why do I not like people touching me? Why do I not like just like, why do I don't like people in my space? It was just a lot, right? So when I started content creation, it wasn't to bring, like, I shed light on my family, but I'm sharing my life. Like, this is life from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? So whoever getting my stuff is a feature. Like, this is for me. And I don't plan on bringing my husband into this, because he's a part of me, but this is my story. This is my journey. You know what I'm saying? And he wholeheartedly supports me on my journey. So it's not for him. So no, we're not doing couple content. And that's why I started content creation. At first I started working out, and if you look at the pinned video on my TikTok page, it kind of explains when I first started, like, the journey of finding myself, because I had gave so much of me to everybody else, baby. I was trying to make everybody happy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to remove myself from so many toxic ass situations, so many toxic bonds and relationships, and that included family members, in order to find myself, right? So one day I was just sharing my workouts, and then the next day I was sharing how I work out and still go to work, right? And then after that, I was sharing, baby, because somebody was like, you do all that before you work, before you go to work? Because y'all, I was working and I was still doing everything that y'all see me do in my morning routines and all that stuff. I was still doing all that on top of working. And then when they got out of school, I was still doing the afternoon stuff on top of working. So yeah, y'all, it was just like, somebody had asked me, like, do that clock say 5 o'clock? Teach me your ways. And that's when it started. Like, I started sharing my routines, and then I did my morning routine with my kids and all that stuff, and somebody was like, well, can you show your afternoon routine? And then they was basically like, man, I love this. You basically, oh my God, how many times I'm gonna say basically? You know, so many people was just like, you inspired me to, you know, implement structure, and you show me the importance of structure, schedules, and routines. And it just went from there. And at first I was just solely focused on lunch packing, sharing my day-to-day morning routine and evening routines, or sometimes afternoon. And then it just turned into, you should do a YouTube page. We would love to watch longer videos of y'all and stuff like that. So that's how I got into content creation. And now I'm just still juggling all of that, minus working, plus pouring into me on top of those other things. So this channel is basically me sharing everything, like, not everything, but everything. Somebody asked, what did I do before content creation? And what did I do? I worked as a collection specialist, and I worked in the highest level of collections. Like, this one you about to charge off, and I gotta collect on it. The job was very stressful. I was at that job since Taj was 1. That's a long time. I started that job when Taj was 1. And yeah, I was working as a collections representative before this. And yes, I sometimes miss the fact that I made the money, you know, like, I was working and I was making money, but I am working now and I'm making money because God, like, He made a way when I didn't feel like it was no way. Like, I'm not all the way there, but I'm getting there. And it's like, I trusted myself. But first and foremost, I trusted God. Then I trusted my husband that he was gonna figure out a way to provide for us, and I would be able to be home and be present for our kids, because that's a big priority for me. Present for my kids. Like, I pour into them so much because kids need that, like, believe it or not. And because of how I was brought up, I just want to do the opposite for my kids. So a couple of you all asked, how has content creation changed my life? Honestly, content creation changed my life by, I just found myself. Like, in content creation, I figured out, like, I do make a difference in other people's lives. I am everything that I thought I was, but I let other people make me think that I'm not. I found myself, like, I mean, with content creation, you develop a voice that you didn't even know that you had, because you have to basically put yourself out there. Like, it put me out my comfort zone, number 1. It helped me with my anxiety, number 2. And yeah, like, I just feel like I've grown so much as a person. I've grown a lot more as a mom, and even more as a wife. And I've also grown in faith. Like, content creation has forced me to trust my process, trust God, and trust my journey. A couple of you guys asked me why I don't go to church. I don't feel like you have to go to church to have a relationship with God. I've tried to go to church several times and I have not found a church home yet. Let's just say that. That's not to say I don't plan on ever going to church, and it's not to say I never went to church a day in my life. It's just right now, that's not what we're doing. But that doesn't mean I can't get my relationship in with God another way. And I know y'all see me watching my sermons and reading my Bible, so you can't tell me I don't know my God. Okay? Somebody asked me for tips on staying consistent. Baby, ain't no tips, okay? You just gotta do it. If it's something that you truly want to do, you gotta get off your ass and you gotta do it. Like, you can't just sit and just be like, oh, I need the motivation, oh, I need strength. Baby, you gotta do it. Like, and you gotta not think about it. Like, don't give nobody the power over you to make you feel like you can't do it, okay? If you got somebody in your circle like you ain't gonna get, I don't care if you got one person watching your video, you do it, okay? Ain't nobody, ain't nobody just start and just blew up overnight. Like, it takes time. Like, you have to put in the work, and if you put in the work, you'll get somewhere. Like, I started content creation a year and some change ago, I think. Almost 2 years. No, yeah, I've been doing content for about 2 years now, and you see how slow my growth is on TikTok. I'm getting somewhere, but the growth is slow. And then you got YouTube, where I just finally started taking it serious, and I'm growing overnight. But again, you have to put in that work, and you can't make excuses like, oh, I'm gonna do it this time, or like, I was making excuses a lot when it came to, I can't record for YouTube and TikTok at the same time. How I'm gonna do that? Baby, grab somebody else's phone or flip your phone in the middle of it. Like, you gotta make do with what you got until you get to where you're going and where you want to be. Like, right now, I don't have no camera. I'm vlogging off my phone, and I literally got my daughter's phone, using it to read these damn questions because I'm gonna get it done. And what's my favorite TV show? Baby, I am on right now, me and Hubs, we that's who I watch TV with. So if I'm not watching TV with Hubs, my favorite show is Grey's Anatomy. I watched that show 50 million times, and I watch over like I ain't never watched it before. I love Grey's Anatomy. I used to love Married at First Sight. Y'all, I used to love that show. Like, but I stopped watching it when they married a couple that had they had a couple got married, and it was a black couple, and he ended up having a baby with he had a baby on the way when he married her. Like, how y'all ain't catch that? Like, I stopped watching that and I ain't watched it since, y'all. My other shows, I love all the powers, okay? But my favorite one is Tariq's story, okay? I'm into Tariq's story real bad, but he don't be coming on like that. So, in the meantime, you gotta watch Raising Kanan. I watch Raising Kanan, and I watch Tommy's story too. I love BMF. Anything 50 Cent create, those my shows right there, okay? I don't really watch TV like that outside of that. And somebody also asked, what's my favorite hobbies? Y'all, I used to love to read. Like, I used to get lost in a book. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, I discovered books in my freshman year. Not discover books like I never read a book a day in my life, but like, that books had a story. Like, you had a whole, like, it's like you got a whole lot of shit popping off in one little book. Like, like, you could be in a whole nother world in the book, and everything around you is not even like, oh, like, when my circumstances was bad, I get lost in the book. But even when my circumstances was good, like, I just found joy in reading books, y'all. I haven't read in a long time, but I did just get some books, y'all. Let me tell you my all-time favorite that started me, like, I love urban books, okay? First of all, I love urban books. And my favorite book for a long time was by Ashley and Jaquavius, The Cartel. Baby, I have all the Cartel books, like, but Ashley and Jaquavius got so many good books that, baby, I could get lost in their books. But I'm starting to feel like I'm growing up because urban reading don't really do to me. Like, it don't really stroke it like how I used to, you know. So I got Cartel 1 and 2 and 3 in one book, and then you got 4, 5, 6, and 7. Baby, I read this twice before I was like, okay, can I read it again? But every time you read a book, if you read it again, you start to grow a different perspective. I love Ashley Antoinette. I love her ethics series, but ethics started to get on my nerves after a while, okay? Yeah, it was just too much. But this is my new pickup, okay? I got a part 1 and part 2, and she has so many series. So I just started reading this. I'm not that far into it, but it's called Blossom in the Winter, because I'm kind of like growing up and I want to read like other stuff. I was reading this other series that I can't remember the name of, but y'all, I got a whole bunch of books. That's my pastime. I love to read, and that's how I pour into myself too, by just doing stuff I used to enjoy doing. Okay, so a lot of people ask, how do I implement structure? You just have to find a schedule that works for you. A schedule that works for you and works for the kiddos. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you literally just plan like everything that need to be done. Sometimes I make a list when I can't keep up with stuff, but you just have to work around, like look at your kids' schedule and look at where you need improvement. Like if you want to get your kids to bed, example, if you want to get them to bed at a decent time, look at what you're doing, like what time are you doing everything before bedtime that's making you be having them in the bed real late, you know? So if you feel like they going to bed way too late, push everything up. Push everything up, get them on a routine, get them on a schedule. Routines are not perfect and schedules do not always go as planned, but it's nice to have something in place. I plan my week out for a reason. Like, I'm not saying, oh, we gonna do this or we gotta do this. No, we plan our week out because it's easier that way. You know what's coming, you know what's expected. Pencil in them doctor's appointments, the times, and get yourself ready before that. Like, I wake up before the kids and I get up that early so that I can get everything in order. Like, when your house is in order, you bring structure, you bring stability, you bring consistency, and that's what kids need. What other ways? Yeah, like you just have to look at your house and look at what you need done and come up with a schedule that works for your household. And in that schedule, you'll bring structure because you're sticking to the schedule. And again, some things may not go as planned. Like, I plan out my meals for the week. They don't always get cooked, okay? But it's something in place for me to, like, it's like a blueprint. It's a map, you know what I'm saying? And if I see Monday we got something and I forgot to take the meat out, then, which I don't, because I literally would look at the menu in the morning, but this is just an example. If you forget to take the meat out and you see shrimp throw out easy and you got shrimp on the menu somewhere, take the shrimp out, move the meals around from Wednesday to Monday, you know? So that's my take on implementing structure and schedules. And also get your kids involved. Like, make them feel like, print them out a schedule and let them follow the schedule. Like, some kids love to look at what they're doing and what they should be doing. If they too small, bring pictures out, you know? Like, that's just my opinion. Do you see yourself ever starting a business? I actually was a business owner. Y'all asked me what I did before content creation. I used to work as a collections rep, but I also had a business. My business was Where Dreams Come True Events by Janae and SHINEEEE. Me and my sister-in-law had an event planning business, and we kind of like slowed down on it when COVID hit, but we had just started like a little bit before COVID. So as much as I overdo it for my kids' birthdays and stuff like that, it was just easy to like, that's a bit like something I enjoy doing. So we basically just planned the whole party from start to finish. We would basically like be there to help orchestrate it as well, but we never ventured out to like do huge parties and stuff like that. But I've had a business and I don't see myself I don't really see myself doing another business, not right now at least, but maybe in the near future. Your teeth are beautiful. Do you have veneers? Yes. Thank you so much. I could not stand my teeth, and somebody else was my biggest insecurity. That was my teeth. I could not stand my teeth. And also, y'all, I have love handles that, you know, but I could get rid of that, you know, like I just feel like Yeah, I got veneers. They're composite veneers though. Childhood trauma. Y'all want to talk about childhood trauma? Let's get started. So this is the part where I'm gonna get a little bit vulnerable, and some of you may know, some of you may not know, because somebody said childhood trauma and somebody said, why am I so protective over my kids? So let's get into it. So when I was about maybe, I think it went on from me being like 5, 6, 7, I'm not sure if it was 8, but I was molested as a kid. I was molested by a family member, and I pretty much am very protective of my kids for that reason and that reason only. I don't trust a lot of people with my kids because I don't know, like when I came to terms with the fact that I was molested and I finally accepted that as my story and my truth, like it opened me up to be able to heal in places I never thought I would heal. Like I told y'all earlier, I don't like being touched. Like if somebody randomly just touched me, I cringe, like because I'm not used to people, like I wasn't used to making somebody respect my space before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like as a kid, people violated me and came in my space without my permission, and that in turn made me feel like I gotta, you know, don't touch me without me knowing that you finna touch me, because I get uncomfortable. I don't like that. That's the reason why I don't let my kids go anywhere. I don't trust anybody. I don't put shit past nobody, and I don't play about my fucking kids, because if you don't protect them, who's going to? I'm very hands-on because I feel like, first of all, don't nobody owe you nothing. I feel like I got a lot of trauma that outside of being molested. I have trauma from, like, you know, being, I was such a people pleaser. Like I have childhood trauma with like how I was brought up. Like I don't know, y'all, this is kind of like a tough subject. Like you can be putting trauma on your child without even knowing that you're doing it. Like it's so much trauma with just the simple being brought up in a Black household. Not everybody was the same way, I get that. And my mama wasn't bad, she was doing her best. She had me at 16, so she had to grow with me, you know what I'm saying? And when you have a generation after generation after generation that passing down that trauma, it get passed down. I am the generational curse breaker in my family. I can say that I do things a lot different with my kids. Like somebody asked, do they get whoopings? Now they used to, because that's something that was passed down. Like you feel like, oh, I gotta do what my mama did to me, or my mama did this. Like I had to teach my husband too. Like that's not the way that you have to do it all the time. Like find another way. Discipline and beating is two different things. Discipline don't mean you gotta beat somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So like I just feel like kids, as adults, we make so many mistakes. Do we get our ass beat when we make a mistake? So why the fuck you beating your kid? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it took a lot of stuff to unlearn. Like you have to really unlearn so much trauma that's put onto you to make sure that you don't pass that down to your kid. Like I'm sure when my kids grow up, they still gonna be like, you know, I had an issue with this, I had an issue with that. But my thing is, my kids know how to come to me and tell me stuff. I couldn't go and just be open and honest. Like till this day, I get anxiety to like bring up a conversation with my mom, and it's just because I was never able to be vocal about my feelings or how I feel about things, because it was always like, oh, you so emotional, oh, you such a crybaby, oh, you this, you that, you know, like, and I was never feeling like I could just be me or just say how I truly feel about anything without being tore down. like, y'all know I got the Mom and Me journal for my kids. Like, they can always come to me, they can always tell me anything, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to feel like they can't talk to me, they can't talk to their dad. And that's how I feel like you can break generational curses. Like, allow your child to be vocal about how they feel, allow them to express themselves. If they want to wear something that you don't agree with, let them fucking wear it. Like, they're their own person. And some people don't see their kids as individual people. They see them as somebody that belongs to them and they own them. You don't own them. You don't own them. You help them, you brought them into this world, but you have to allow your kid to grow and be themselves so that they can know how to be outside of you when it's time for them to branch off and grow and just be who they want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but that's just my take on it. A lot of childhood trauma also came from my mom being with my stepdad. Now, like I told y'all before, my stepdad was never the issue. It was his family. When you're with somebody, you need to make sure that the family that's connected to the new spouse accepts your child wholeheartedly. They didn't accept me, and that's the reason why I make sure, like, I was pouring my heart and soul into making sure any baby that came around me felt loved and welcomed, and just, I don't know, like, I be to myself simply because I don't fuck with people. Like, I don't do fake stuff and all of that. So, like, you know, growing up, I had to be around people that didn't really like me. And it was like, you don't like me because he with my mama? Like, how? Like, I just don't understand. Like, you know, sometimes kids get brought into situations that don't even have shit to do with them. Like, it's not even their fault. It's not their choice that they brought up in a situation. But because they are, you gotta treat them ugly. Like, I told y'all, they used to leave me. Like, my stepdad family left me out of shit all the time. They made me feel like the stepchild. And I didn't like that. Like, I also grew up in like a little hood area, you know, like, we grew up in the projects, but I don't want to call them projects because it was like a community. That's the only place I felt a sense of security. Like, I felt like, you know, I was wholeheartedly accepted. That was just my home. Like, that's like, when I think about my childhood, that's the only thing that makes me happy. Like, when I think about my childhood, that's the only thing that be bringing me joy, because it's like, damn, you know, like, this the only place where even though it was the project, ain't nobody was molesting me though. Like, I was in the fucking suburbs getting touched on. Like, I don't know, y'all. Like, but that just really going to show, like, that's why I don't fucking play about nobody when it comes to my kids. And I don't make my kids go nowhere they don't want to go. And I don't ask nobody to watch my kids. I watch my own fucking kids. I do everything I need to do because I brought them into this world. And I'm not going to give nobody the opportunity to do nothing to them. So, yes, I am very protective over them. But that don't mean that I don't let them live and do whatever it is their heart desires. Now, me, on the other hand, I didn't get to do much. I was basically like, everywhere I went, I had to take my sister, my little sister. I know y'all seen her in a couple of my videos, but she's 10 years younger than me. And basically, when my mom had her, my mom was in school. She was in school for nursing, and she also was working 7P to 7A. So my mom would have somebody else watching us, but my sister wasn't really comfortable with a lot of people. She was comfortable with me. Like, I was her safe space. So it's like, I took on that responsibility at a young age and made her my child, like, without even realizing, like, damn, girl, like, you know, you're not responsible. Like, you don't have to do this. But it just, like, I had a big heart and I really cared, you know, about my sister. And even though my mom paying somebody else to babysit my sister, I was the one watching her. So I never really just been a child. Like, I always been a young adult before my time. I grew up way before my time. So I'm like a nurturer. Like, that's just how I am. And, you know, I think, y'all, I be getting way off topic and I really can talk all day. So yeah. How are you mentally? And that other question can go be paired with life update. Mentally, I feel like I'm in a great space. I feel good. Like, I feel like I'm finally accomplishing things that I set out to accomplish, and I feel like even when things aren't good, I know how to find the good in it. You know, like, I have grown a lot in that aspect of life, because before, when stuff be bad, baby, it was bad, and I just allow it to affect my mood, my mental, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, no, baby, you can't keep doing that. You better grab you a Bible, you better get into it, you better understand that. Okay, so when I'm going through stuff, what I read is Job. That's the one I'm gonna read every time, because that one will help me every time. Like, you see all the stuff this man went through, all that stuff he went through, and you see how he's came out of it. Like, and you also just have to understand, when you shift your perspective on a lot of stuff, you start to realize, like, this ain't it for me. Like, this not it for me. I have so much in store for me. You start planting those seeds, and baby, God gonna do it every time. Like, he gonna do it every time. So when you have faith, and, you know, just trust your process, trust your journey, and you trust God, all things are possible. Like, so mentally, I'm okay. I'm doing very good. Finally, I'm doing my shadow work, and I'm just growing. Like, I'm just finding myself. I'm finding joy in things again. I'm finding joy in my marriage. I'm finding joy in motherhood, and I'm finding joy in just being. Like, I'm learning to just be in the moment, and I couldn't be any more grateful than I am right now to be in the place that I am now. Like, I've accomplished so much, and I never gave myself credit. Like, I always try to dumb my accomplishments down to make somebody else feel better, or to make it not seem like I'm bragging or I'm coming off as that it girl. But bitch, I am that girl. Like, I am. And sometimes I really suck at reminding myself of that. Like, and I'm not doing that no more. I'm not dumbing myself down no more. Like, I used to dumb myself down all the time. Like, oh, you look pretty today. I don't know how to accept compliments. So I'd be like, really? Like, girl, thank you. Like, period. Tell me I look pretty. Or I would get compliments like, girl, congratulations on the home buying. Y'all, it's not much. Yes, it is. That's a huge fucking accomplishment. Nobody on my husband's side or my side in our family has bought a house. And we did. Like, pat yourself on the back. Like, learn to be excited and happy and appreciative for your accomplishments, because you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was working so hard to get to this house that when I got in this house, I didn't even know how to just accept it. Like, girl, you really did it. Like, I was just like, oh, I still gotta do this, I still gotta do that. Baby, be in the moment. Be in the moment. And that's my best gift, my greatest gift to myself, is learning how to be in the moment and be happy with where I am in life. And y'all, I am that girl. Thank you. Yeah. Who are your favorite top 3 content creators? Yo, I could go on and on. I love so many content creators. I don't even want to pick top 3, but I'm just gonna name a few. So number 1, she's, just because I'm putting in this order don't mean that one is over the other. I love Isis. I'm gonna have to put her name, but she has a daughter, Demi. She got twins. I love Isis Kia. I love Real Mommy TV ×2. I love what's her name? Oh, E-Kane. I love E-Kane. That's my girl. E-Kane, y'all. E-Kane follow me. Make some noise, y'all. What the fuck? It's, I love so many, but I just don't have all the names off the top of my head. I follow and I support whoever I see. Like, I don't know, like, y'all, I love Diara, but I haven't really been watching her like that. I love the other one that they always trying to say be copying on Diara. I like her too. I don't feel like she copied her. I think she just has the same accent, but that's just that don't shoot me. That's just my opinion, okay? My opinion. I love the small creators along with the big creators. Like, I don't discriminate, okay? I love, what's her name? Jayla on TikTok. I love her. And yeah, the list could go on and on. Like, really. Do you have any cute friends for me to meet? I got some fine ass friends, but I don't know if they want to meet you. Like, who are you? Show yourself. Yeah, show yourself. Not so much of a question, but you inspired me to get close to God again and share this with my daughter. I love your content. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, love. By the way, I love you and your family. You are truly an inspiration. The way you seem to be so positive with any situation. You are an amazing mama, and your babies are absolutely precious. I look forward to more videos of your sweet family. Oh, that's so sweet. Now, let's see. What is your dream vacation? Y'all, I want to go to Jamaica. Once I go to Jamaica, I want to go to Puerto Rico. I want to go everywhere, okay? I want to be a vacation. How do you get your kids to eat what you cook? My daughter is so picky, it's frustrating. So you have to give them stuff that they like on top of new things. But the new thing, make it small. And also don't force them. Just be like, can you just try it? Or eat in their face. My kids love to eat. So I'll sit in their face with my plate and I'll be like, this is so good. And then it'll make them want to try it. You know, like, you have to create a positive relationship with them and food, but like don't force it down their throat though, because then they're gonna be like, fuck you, fuck that plate, I'm not eating this shit, give me some fucking cereal. Like, and then also sometimes it's just not a win-win situation. Like, you gotta let them eat what they want to eat, because otherwise they're gonna starve themselves because they ain't fucking with it. Like, but I used to have that you gonna eat what I cook or you don't eat at all situation, and I don't do that to my kids. Like, I want you to try it, yes, but after you try it, if you don't like it, here you go, here's a bowl of cereal, baby. Like, don't force them. And then it creates a healthy relationship with food. Ooh, child. What do you do if somebody suddenly starts acting weird and trying to be in competition with you? Baby, I've had so many situations with weird ass friends that, baby, I can go on and on. But let's do a story time. I had this one friend, well, I consider her a friend. We started the job together at the same time, and we had a nice little friend group. Basically, everybody who started the job together, we all became friends, and we basically was like going to lunch together, sharing stories and all this stuff. And I was engaged at the time. She was engaged at the time. I was actually about to start planning my wedding, so I was, you know, I didn't mention this to nobody until I was really sure that I was about to start planning my wedding. And she basically approached me and asked me, like, you know, could she help me plan my wedding? And I'm like, okay, cool, you know. So yo, I'm trying to make sure I don't forget no details, but she was planning my wedding. I told her the venue that I wanted to get married at. I told her my colors and everything, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna view the venue and I'll get back to you. Y'all, she went to go see the venue, and then why this bitch come back and tell me she wanna have her wedding there, and she about to start planning her wedding. Now tell me how the fuck you gonna plan my shit and your shit? Like, and then she was like, first of all, the relationship that she was in was just terrible. Number one, he had like maybe 5 or 6 baby mamas. I don't know. I know he had a lot going on, and that's not to say my shit don't stink or that I didn't have stuff that I was going through, because it wasn't as toxic. Okay, we was actually growing and working towards being married to each other. So she said she wanted to have her wedding there, and I think she didn't even come to my wedding, to be honest. I was also helping her because my granny was watching her daughter. I helped her get childcare because she was not gonna have a job, because the dude that she was getting married to wasn't even watching their kids. That's another thing. You at home, you're not working, you're not doing shit, but you're not watching your kids. Make it make sense. And it was just weird all around. I've had situations where if it's a close friend, I'm gonna do whatever I can to just like have a conversation and be like, okay, you know, I'm picking up on something. But anybody who's close to me that's really my friend, I've never felt like my real friends, I never had no issue where I felt like they was being jealous, envious, or, you know, weird. But the ones that you bring into your friend group and they not really your friends, those are the bitches that you have to watch. Like, I don't feel like those people, the ones that's not really your close friendship, like you've been friends with them for years, if you ain't been friends with them for that long, cut their ass off. That's my advice. Cut them off, because sometimes those people be monitoring spirits, and those be people that just really want your life. Like, it's people out there that really be genuinely obsessed with you and want your fucking life. And I'm at the age where I would just cut you off. Like, I'm not gonna keep talking to you. And if it is a close friend that I've been friends with for years, I'm gonna try to say something. Like, I'm gonna try to like have a conversation and see if we can like come to a conclusion or something. But if you're not fucking trying to do that shit either, then we can stop fucking talking. Like, I'm not holding on. I'm not begging. Like, I'm in a season in my life where I'm in letting go. You gotta let people go. Some people are in your life for a season, some people in your life for a long time, and sometimes you just gotta let motherfuckers go. Like, especially if a motherfucker being weird, like that friend that doing that wedding shit, that's weird. Like, I don't care what nobody say, I don't care how you put it, it's weird. Like, but my friend that I was friends with for years, like, I met her in 8th grade, friends with her for years, and when she came for my wedding, she was on the phone with her man the whole time. Like, I had an issue with that because I was like, it's our time. We haven't seen each other in a long time, and you on the phone, you just being weird. Like, but I could say that to her. Like, we fell out, but we was able to have a conversation eventually. And I told her, I was like, it feels like you're there for your friends, but it was only because those friends needed her. I didn't need her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in a place in my life where I was growing, like I was elevating, and she was in the place where she was good, but she had all these friends that was underneath her that she was pouring into because she's trying to bring them up where she at. But at the same time, she's neglecting me because I'm good in her eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I had a conversation with her, and I told her, I said, you know, you just wasn't available. You know, you wasn't pouring into me. You wasn't doing this. You wasn't doing that. And, you know, we had a conversation and we came to an agreement. But you have some people that you can't have a conversation with, and they don't want to receive the information that you're putting out. Like, regardless to how you think or how they feel, it's still a whole nother side. Like, my feelings matter too. So when I tried, you know, to address certain friendships and it didn't work, I just let it go. Like, I'm not finna hold on to nothing. I'm not finna beg nobody for no friendship, and I'm definitely not finna entertain no weird ass competition ass vibes, because it's really females out there. Like, I've came across so many females that just envious, like envious of me, envious of my life, and I'm just like, baby, everything I got you can get too. You can get even more, but you too busy looking at me, and baby, y'all, I could go on and on because bitches are weird, but that's why I don't really have that much friends. Like, the friends I do have is those my friends. Like, we locked in, and it ain't never no weird vibes. Like, but if you got somebody around you that's being fucking weird and you know it, like, you already know, like, we already be knowing when a motherfucker being weird. We be just trying to get them the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes you cannot do that. Like, you really have to let people go. So yeah, cut that bitch off. I also got, how do you deal with friendship breakups, and how do you let go of friendships that don't serve you? So, in my opinion, those are kind of hard. The way I handle them is, I give it to God. Number one, I might journal. And sometimes when you just realize that a person is not for you, you just let it go. Like that goes into the weird stuff. Like, if you feel like, okay, for example, if you do have a friend that you feel like you've been friends with for a long time and they start being weird, it's like, maybe they being weird because their life not going the way that they feel like it should go, or they're envious and they don't know how to say it, or they just, you know, some people just do start going left. And it's like, when you get to that point, it's like, you just gotta let that go. Like, my feelings don't be hurt about friendships, because I know that when I'm in a friendship, I give it my all. I may not be available all the time. I may not can't sit on the phone all the time. But baby, if you call me, I'm here. Like, if you call me, I'm coming. Like, nobody can ever say I was a bad friend. So when the time comes where I feel like we falling apart, I'll reach out, we try to chit chat, whatever. If we can't come to a conclusion, I know I gave it my all. I'm to the point in my life where I'm too old for that. Like, I'm too old to be doing all that. Like, I'm not finna argue with you. I'm not finna be subliminal on social media. I'm not finna be weird. Like, I'm just gonna try to have a conversation. If we can't have a conversation, we're letting it go. Like, because we're too old. Like, I'm not finna be into it with nobody at this big age. No. And if it's not serving you, then, and you know it's not serving you, you gotta let it go. Like, and sometimes it is hard to let stuff go, but no, I'm not finna do all that. Hey sis, not a question, but I just love you and your family, and I'm really excited for your YouTube journey. Please, can you incorporate more from your childhood, because the little you have shared has helped me, and I can see why you're such a great mother. I think I did. I think I kind of did. You could comment and let me know if you want me to elaborate a little bit more. Y'all, I really feel like this video is all over the place. Like, literally, it's all over the place. But I really hope that I touched a lot of points that, you know, you guys can relate to, or I answered the questions to. Like, yeah, I know I did to the best of my ability, but like I said, all over the place. Any advice for first-time home buyers? I'm struggling over here with so many letdowns. Home buying, baby, the shit is ghetto. It's ghetto and it's stressful, but if you literally trust your process and trust what's for you, tell yourself, if you go to a house, if you believe in God, if you go to a house and you look at the house and you in love with the house and you feel like, this my house, say this: Lord, if it's your will, let it be done. And let it go. You cannot force anything that's not meant. You can't. You cannot sit up and force anything that ain't meant to happen, okay? You literally have to trust the process, and sometimes stuff don't work. It don't work. And like, we went through so much stuff. Like, our closing date got moved so many times. Our house wasn't up to par. Like, the builders, like, girl, we went through so much. But when we was looking at houses, we looked at every house that was already built, and we were just like, this thing, I don't like this. I don't like this. Like, so we made a vision board. I'm not saying make a vision board, but we did. We literally wrote down everything we wanted in the house, okay? And then we went looking. We went to this community that we in now. We came here first, and they was showing us, because we only got approved for a lower than what we got right now. We got approved for a lower amount. We was looking in that price range, right? We went and we seen a house that was in the back of this complex, and the house was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and it was so tiny. Like, it was supposed to be big, but the room sizes was smaller than we needed, and we really wanted 5 rooms so that the kids can kind of like grow, and we don't have to continuously be like, oh, somebody got to share a room. I don't like making my kids share rooms, okay? So anyways, and I also just wanted space for everybody. Yeah, so we seen the house, and we were just like, no, this not it. So we went and we looked everywhere, and then we were just like, all these houses are ugly. We don't like these. It's too crowded. The space is too little. It's not enough space to even fit the kids' beds in rooms. Like, it was just crazy, right? So some told me, go back and ask your lender, can they raise the limit? Like, can you give me more than what we asked for? They literally said, yes. I said, what? You said we could get more? Y'all, we came back to this subdivision, viewed the 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, and it was everything we wanted. We walked around the whole place. They showed us every 5-bedroom lot, and they told us, pick your lot. Pick your lot. Like I told y'all, nobody in my family ever did this before. So I was literally like, pick a lot? Like, what? What do you mean? Like, child, we picked our lot. And they gave us a sold sign and told us to take a picture in front of the lot. And when I tell y'all, I still didn't believe, like, we bought, like, I'm still like, this still not our house. Like, I didn't believe it, because it was just like, God, you really did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really happened. Like, we really did the work. Like, I was so serious about home ownership. Like, I was dead serious. Like, we're gonna do this. I had my husband like, stop playing with me. Don't swipe another credit card. This is what we need to do. This is how we gonna do it. We gotta do this. And my husband was like, okay. Like, he wholeheartedly trusted me to get us to this point. So because he didn't know anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Neither one of us knew. So me doing my research and me bringing him into the loop, we worked together, yes, but I literally took that so serious. So when we stood in front of the soul sign, I was just like, okay, you know. And basically I say all of this to say that you need to trust your process. Like, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be ugly. You know, you're gonna go through some stuff, but baby, when you get to that closing date and you sign them papers, can't nobody tell you nothing, because you did it. You did it, you know? So yeah, like, I didn't ever think I was gonna be able to get to this point, because I had so many people around me like, oh, how you gonna buy a house? How you gonna do that? You know you can't. How is that even possible? Like, y'all not even. Baby, we were staying in a house with all my family, one big house. Like, it was a big house, and the whole goal was for us all to work together and all of us to save. But it didn't work that way, because a lot of people wasn't taking care of their responsibilities. Bills wasn't getting paid when they were supposed to. Our name on the lease, and we falling behind on everything. The rent was $2,750, baby. It was a big ass, beautiful house, but I was miserable. But baby, when I was in there, I was working my ass off. So make sure we get to this house. Like, and I told myself, when I get to this house, I gotta heal. Like, I gotta get myself together, because I let people walk all over me. I let my family walk all over me, and I let everybody just fucking, like, I had to get here and I had to heal, but it took a lot of work to get here, basically, is all I'm saying. The homeownership shit is not a cakewalk, okay? And when you got people in your ear telling you can't do it, ignore them motherfuckers and get it done. Show their ass you can do it. Just like I did. Because to this day, me and my house and my husband and my house is still standing. By the grace of God. And I'm a walking testimony to that. But I really think I hit all the topics. If I didn't, I might just mess around and do a part 2 or whatever, but this is mostly just a get to know me type of video, and I might have not discussed a lot of stuff that I planned on discussing or how I planned on doing it, but like I said, I think I touched the multiple asked questions a lot. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This is very new to me, and yeah, I love you, Naebies, and I will talk to y'all in the next vlog. Comment down below if you resonated with anything, or you feel like you want me to touch more topics, or just if it's stuck, baby, if you picking up what I'm putting down, like, let me know. Yeah, I love you, Naebies. I'm gonna go ahead and go. Mwah. Side note, guys, I just got accepted into the Target program, the Target Creator Program, and I'm so, y'all, like, I didn't know I would go this far. Like, I'm just so blessed and highly favored and super excited for what's to come for me, y'all. Like, and thank y'all for even getting me to this point, because it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't even be sitting at almost 10K subscribers on the like, I love you, Naebies, I really do. And like I said, I really hope that I touched the topics that y'all wanted me to talk about, and if I didn't, y'all let me know what else y'all want me to talk about. But I love y'all. Bye. Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understand.